Hello, Jaime from Inky and Scrappy, sharing with you today a super snarky card set featuring ink road stamps, Live Fast, Eat Trash. It's a trash panda. Okay, it's a raccoon, but it's a trash panda. So I am using some Distress Reinkers to watercolor today on some new to me Bristol board. I've never used Bristol board before. I picked it up at the local scrapbook or craft/scrapbook store, and I thought I would give it a go. So they have artist pads on sale, like off-brand stuff on sale for Christmas already, and so I picked up some Love Nicole Bristol Smooth and Bristol Vellum last year or the year before when they had them on sale like that, and they were super great quality wise at a super great price because it was $5 for the, what is it, like 20 sheets or 18. I think this one was 18 sheets, but this one was called Bristol board, so I thought I would give it a try. I think it's meant probably more for, it's smooth, but it definitely does not leave any water on your surface. It dries super fast. So for this, it was great because I really didn't need my water to sit on top for most of it, and it actually gives my background an extra cool effect that I probably wouldn't have gotten had I been using Bristol Smooth or Bristol Vellum. You know, it was, I was playing. You can't learn unless you play. I also picked up an oil paint pad, and that stuff was like super heavy. I think it's like 130 or 150 pound cardstock that's got the tooth to it. So it's kind of got that linen look to it. So I figured if nothing else, I could use it for background paper stuff. It's, you know, I'm always up to try new things, especially when it was on sale. So that's how I roll. I am using some Distress Reinker in Pumice Stone to color my raccoons here. Going in and laying that first layer down and then adding in my shadow underneath the raccoon's arms for the most part. And I didn't need to do much else because he's black ink. So, and I did stamp these with Lawn Fawn's jet black ink as it is watercolor friendly. And then for the actual trash cans here, I am using some black soot that is super watered down. I don't own any hickory smoke reinker, so I figured black soot was probably going to be the closest thing or the closest match to a cool gray as long as it was watered down. So I just did a very fast and quick coloring on that one. I colored in the divots, or what I would have thought to be the divots, and then went over it with another layer of that really watered down black soot, and then I will come in and add a heavier layer of black soot as my shadow around the outside, and then where that hood would lean against the can where you would think to see a shadow in real life, just to give it a little bit more dimension there. And full disclosure, all you get to really see today is me doing the watercolor. So if you wanted to see the whole card finished, it's at the end. I didn't actually include all the steps. I will explain those steps somewhere along the way as I'm coloring, because it's a fairly simple layout, at least for me. And these are sped up to 2 times. And I think there was maybe 20 minutes total of video. So it probably took me about 10 minutes each to paint them. And then it probably took me longer to decide on background papers that were going to coordinate and what sentiments I wanted to use, because I overthink everything. That's how I roll. And I wanted to add a little bit of color onto these, and I figured that trash can lid was the perfect place to add that pop of color besides my background. So for the one, I'm going to go in with red, and this is brick red. No, it's barn door. So this one is barn door. And then I will add some black soot in there to muck it up a little bit, or I guess dinge it up a little bit because it's obviously a well-loved trash can cover, so I didn't figure it would be a pristine red. Adding in the darker colors towards the top and the bottom of the lid, and then having it lighter in the center. And I'm bringing in a blue here. I ended up going with, I think it's Stormy Sky. Don't quote me on that one because I can't remember. And I looked at what I had out and it still wasn't. Yeah. And then I do bring in a little bit more black on this one for it. And it ends up drying back a lot. So I will come in after a while and add some more color to that lid because I wasn't happy with it after I added my background. So for my background, I'm going to bring in some chipped sapphire. I love dark and moody backgrounds, you know. I just figured a trash panda is going to be out and about at night. At least that's when they are here. So this is what I'm talking about when I say it really did not play water-wise like it normally would for me. So usually I can lay down a layer of water and touch that ink to the surface, and it will usually pull through that whole watered area. So I either had to work in a smaller area here, or I ended up reworking it a little bit, but that color would seep into the paper where I first dropped it down, and so it gave it a really cool look for the background. I love how it turned out. I don't think I would have gotten that same effect had I been using a Bristol Smooth or a Bristol Vellum or watercolor paper for that matter. So I do like that the Bristol board sucked up the color and didn't really let it move like you would normally get it to move on a watercolor type paper. And it actually did hold up and hold its shape fairly well. You know how it bows and bends when it gets wet. Well, it did a little bit, but not to the extent that one would think it would have. Like if you would have colored a normal, just plain cardstock, it probably would have gotten a little bit more warpage to it. But this one did okay warp-wise when all is said and done. So I'm just kind of extending it out because I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing with these panel-wise. I was really just playing and coloring and going from there. And this is when I decide that lid kind of gets lost in that dark moody background. So I came in and I added a little tiny bit of some pine needles. That's what I had in my palette. So it kind of gives it a bluish green, kind of almost like an Uncharted Mariner color. And then I decide I wanted to bring some of that black down a little bit for the sentiment. My original plan was just to add the sentiment on the white underneath, which is what I would have normally done, but I kind of liked bringing that black down a little bit, so it kind of gives that illusion of, I don't know, the fade that you get with it. And so then I'm going to do the same thing for my background on this one. Of course, this time I'd already done it on the other one, so my technique changed a little bit because I'd already worked with it some, and I still have to say that I absolutely love how the watercolor background on that background turned out. So I did end up picking out some sentiments from that Live Fast, Eat Trash set. So I ended up going with Live Fast, Eat Trash, and to me, you are hot, hot garbage, and then happy birthday for my brother's birthday card. That was the original reason why I was making Trash Panda cards to start with. And then the other one was your trash. Oh, not your trash, but I like it. Trash, but trying. And then the inside sentiment for that one is just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's trash can, not trash cannot. So I thought those were fun. And some of the other sentiments in that set are, I swear the trash finds me. You're trash, but I like it. To my partner in crime. And stay trashy. it's just a fun set. So once those were dry, I took some Lawn Fawn stitched rectangles and kind of figured out how much of a border I wanted around them. And then I found some coordinating cardstock to match my trash can lids there, and then picked out my sentiments. It took me forever to pick sentiments. My Live Fast, Eat Trash was done in a red embossing ink. And then for the inside, I just masked off part of that trash can and added a sentiment underneath it to finish out the inside of those cards. And then, of course, I needed to add some glossy accents onto those raccoon glasses for the outside, so it has a little bit of, something on the outside. But I left them fairly simple and straightforward, and I absolutely love how they turned out. I hope you have a great week and keep getting inky.